So here is the jumpsuit. The person wanted the sleeve, so I added the sleeve. Then that is it. Sorry, it will not be this big on the person. It will not be this big, but yeah, it came out really beautiful, really well, and I love it already. So I'll just make one for myself. Sure to make one for yourself. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kuli. Hope we are all doing good. So today we'll be making this jumpsuit. It's a palazzo, a wide leg jumpsuit, using slash and spread method. So let's get started. First, I have a pattern on how to draft a palazzo trouser already. Just and the hem part, the hemming part, or the leg part, don't make it to be wide, because we are still going to slash it. So just measure your normal trouser, get your hip location. I use 10 for her hip location. That is, you off your underbust plus 2 inches, that is your half length. You remove your half length to get her full length. So after getting your full length, you don't need to minus everything. You don't need to off 2 for the band. So you just have to place your tape, get your hip location, your crouch, your thigh, and your knee length. So that was it. That was what I did here. So I did exactly the same thing. Please check my video on how to make a palazzo trouser. That is just exactly what I did here. So there's no point going into details again. So I'm just drafting. I drafted out the back. This jumpsuit doesn't have a zipper, so there's no need having a zipper. It has a placket, that is a place, a buttonhole stand, but you don't have to draft it here. You be the one to create a placket yourself. So there's no point creating. I'm just doing like, if I want to add a zipper, but there's no need for this. So you just cut out your back pattern, which if you're drafting already, you don't have to cut out the back pattern. Just cut out the front and slash it. After slashing it, then you place it on a fresh pattern instead of doing it afresh. So here, let's get started on the slash and spread method. So here I'll be from the hip part. I'm taking 2 inches. 2 inches. I took 2 inches. I measured 2 inches line, then I extended it to the waist. But if you are making this, please don't extend it to the waist. From the down part, measure 2 inches, then extend the line to the hip. Maybe you can go from the hip, don't take it to the waist, because it will come out. If you really want it a bit fitted at the waist or the hip, then don't slash up to the waist. Stop 1 inch after the hips. Just when you get your hip line, just go up by 1 inch. Then that is where you start slashing it. Don't go up to your waist if you want it fitted. So don't do exactly, unless if you want it free from up to, from the waist to down. But no, I later went up by I later did slash to my waist, so instead of my hip. Sorry, I later slashed to my hip instead of my waist. I didn't really get up to this point. So if you are slashing, if you want it exactly like the picture you are seeing, slash up to your hip, maybe 1 inch above your hip. That is where you start. That is where you stop your slash. Don't take it up to your hip. So after doing that, the hip part, I didn't really add and why cutting this, you don't really have to add any allowance. So I just added ½ inch allowance to my pattern. Like, if you are drafting it already, your trouser, don't add any allowance if you don't want to waste excess fabric. So you don't have to add any allowance. So after everything, at the down part, I took 2 inches. Like, I gave 2 inches space. The hip part, that is where your slash will stop. you just give half inch. Just give half inch. Don't make it up to 1 inch, unless you want it. If you want it big, then you can make up to 1 inch. So the down part is just 2, then you hold it down with a pin. Then the hemming line, you need to correct it again, like make another new line with a slant curve, because if you cut it that way, you will notice that some parts are short or long. So just draft it very well, then you cut it out. That is exactly the same thing. That this is the front, you remove it. So you place, so instead of slashing the back, you just place, though I slashed it, but there's no need. If after slashing the front, you just place it to you just place it on the back pattern, and you at the crotch you go out by 2 inches, then you come in by 2.2 inches. That is the way you draft out your back pattern. Just do it exactly. So instead of draping this, because you might end up you would drape it and it might end up not being equal or that. So instead of draping it, just place your front on a fresh pattern paper and draft out the back. So I tried slashing it, but I said let me use my front. So I placed my front, I drafted out the what I have. Then I took out my 2 inches for the waist, the hip part. You add 2 inches, the waist 2 inches. So from the crouch you come in by 1.5, sorry, you come in by 2 inches, then place this at the waist part. Then the hemming part, I went I added 1 inch. So I went up by 1.5 to 1 inch. This is a jumpsuit, so you don't make it to be really that high. You can use 1 inch to 1.5. So that was it at the so you don't have to start drafting out the back or start draping it. So just place your front, add 2 inches, the way we cut our normal palazzo for the front. Just slash the front, then place it and do add what you need to add instead of draping the front. So the line that I marked is my starting point and everything. So there's no allowance. Don't add any allowance. To just add your normal pattern as if you are making a palazzo trouser. Please watch my video so that you understand what I'm saying. So just cut it out, and that is it for the trouser part. We are done for the trouser part. You just place it on your fabric and cut out exactly the same thing. There's no point adding any allowance to the fabric again. So for the top, you remember, if you are cutting on your fabric, please, it's on fold, cut it on fold. Her half length is 18 plus 2 inches. Her underbust is 18 plus 2 inches. That is 20. So I got her underbust. Remember that you removed her underbust to get your trouser full length. So you measure your shoulder, you go down by 1 inch, then you get your chest line. From your chest line, you take your bust measurement, take your waist measurement. Round neck, I use 2.5 for the neck width. Then for the depth, I use 2.5 for the front, then 1 inch for the back. If you notice, I didn't add any button stand. If you are making a normal shirt, you add a button stand, but here I didn't add any button stand. So you cut it on your fabric and join it here. So here I'm done joining it. I couldn't make a video on when I did the cutting because I was rushing this tutorial. So you just join it at the shoulder, you join the down part to the front part, you place it, just join it. You open up your front crouch. The front, you split it into two, so the front will be open. So you join it to the crouch, you join the both. So join it the way you join. Sorry, I couldn't make a detailed video on how to join this. I'm sorry, I was rushing this, but I needed to make this tutorial. So here I have a strip of 60 inches length and 5 inches wide. So you fold half inch, then you fold the other 1 inch. That is for the placket. It's 60 inches long. You just measure round your shirt, round from the neckline to the place you stop at the hip. Just take your measurement so that you know what's cut from the neck. You measure to the place that when you open it, you try wearing it. So if it fits, that is where you start taking your this thing. So just put it, take it down to the open it to the point that it will be easy for you to put on. So I measured it, it was around 46, and I have a strip of 60. So you can just cut extra. If it's too long, you trim it out after cutting. So you start fixing this from the wrong side. You place that half inch at the wrong side. You place it, then run a straight stitch on it just from that place. Please, when you get to that crouch, you open it very well so that it doesn't pack any fabric. You open it very well. Just start from the neck. You run from one neck to another, just straight down. So that was it. So here I'm done fixing it. I'm done running a straight stitch. So you now use that 1 inch to cover it. This is it. This is why you should use your front, so that it will be, you have a neat finishing. So at the crotch, you make sure you open it very well. Please, when you are fixing it, just open it wide very well, so that you don't end up packing any extra fabric. So, and if you are sewing it and you notice that you're having a hard time, this, let me not lie, this is not easy, especially that crotch part. So once you are sewing it, you just make, instead of you to just stop, you just make a slant V. Just sew it, don't sew it straight, just make a slant V. The way you'll be able to hold it, just try the way you hold it. Just open it up, make sure that cross side you should have like half inch. You should sew it with half inch. So when you are sewing it, you open it up, and after sewing it, you just notch it, notch the place that is packing the extra fabric. This is right, is not really showing due to the color, so it's not really showing, but you just have to open it up very well. I'll still make a detailed video on how to join everything, because I'm still going to make it for someone. So, and this is it, just cover it. After everything, just cover it. That is your placket. That's how to fix your plackets and everything. So once you are done top stitching on it, you just iron it. Just notch the place that will give it, notch that crouch part. So this is it. I've done joining it. Once you are done joining it, you will see that yes, you notch it and iron it inside. You will see that one will overlap on each other. This is what I have. One is overlapping on one. Well, I don't know how to put it. So you just have it overlap. That is this, yes, this the overlap part. That is where you will sew. That is where I made my buttonhole. So you just back stitch on that place that you that your crouch place. Just back stitch, then run a straight stitch on that fold part, on the overlapping part. Just measure 1 inch, just measure 1 inch, and run a straight stitch on it. So that is it for this one. Just 1 inch, run a straight stitch, then fix your buttonhole. Sorry that I couldn't do everything, a detailed tutorial on how to fix all this, but yeah, I just said let me do the tutorial because I was rushing, and the client was really rushing me, so I had to just do everything sharply. But I pray that you just grab. So for the neck, For the collar, I still have my last video, you see how to fix a collar. So you just measure around your neck, whatever you have. I use a straight fabric, so I didn't add any allowance. Whatever you have, your straight your around neck, you add maybe 1 to 1/2 inch. Just that is it, add 1 inch. So this is your fabric, you place it on fold, you measure straight. So to cut out the collar stand, you place your fabric this way on fold. I still have it on my last tutorial, you see it. So I had my my round neck was 18 or 19, so you just divide it by 2. Just divide, and that is 9.5. So you place your 9.5, make a line there for you to know where your 9.5 stopped. So that 9.5, now from that 9.5 you go up by 1.5 inch. Then that 9.5, you get the middle of that 9.5 again, then you connect it with a slant curve, to that. From that 1/2 inch, connect it to that middle point. That is it. So from that 1.5 inch, you place your, I use 1.5 inch for my collar stand. So from there you start placing your measurement, and from this other side you place from down. So I use 1.5 inches for my collar stand. Then you just connect with a slant curve line, and that is it for the collar stand. So you can just go in by then give it a curve that place, so that it will not be straight or pointed. So for the collar four, from that collar, from the if sorry, as the collar stand is 9.5, you can just reduce 1 inch. That is, you have 7.5, I think. Yeah, you have 7.5. That is to place the collar stand, because the collar stand and the collar four cannot be equal. So from that place, I went in by 1 inch, then placed 2.5 for the collar stand that side. Then the rest is 2 inches. Then connect with a slant curve. A slant curve is not straight. That edge part that you went in by 1 inch is not straight, so you just go in by 1/2 inch, then connect it with slants, connect it slantly, and that is it for the curve, for the stand. So this will be on fold. And for the collar stand, you cut it, you have 2 pieces for the collar stand, then 2 pieces for the collar four. But I didn't really, I had only one for the collar four, because I didn't really I didn't I don't want it to have lines. So I just had to fold my fabric, so that I don't end up cutting it into two. So notch the middle part, that is the center part, and you do the same thing for your collar. For that is to know where to start placing your fabric. So you trim it very well, make sure you have a neat work. The next is, this is my fabric that I will use. So you just fold it for the collar four. This is the way I'm folding it, so I don't have to cut it into two. Just get a long strip of clothes, then fold it into two. Then it's not really folding it as if you want to make clothes. Just fold it the way you don't have to sew on the collar four. So this is it. When you open it up, you know that is folded into two, but there's no joining line. So I don't want it to have that joining line, because this is a stretchy fabric. It should not really be smooth. So this is it. You get the center, you notch it. So for the collar four, I'll fold this stand, I'll fold this way, then you cut into two. You cut 2 pieces of this. So to sew this, you just that slanted part, you just sew on it, then you turn it out. Then you take your collar stand, collar four, and place it, the notches, make sure both notches are matching. You match both notches very well, and that is it. So guys, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.